So I'm going to do a follow-up video to this, but basically the first thing that I want to do is show you on Andersen windows, they're notorious for the metal spline. And honestly, it's a genius business model because no one makes this. They can't. It's most likely patented. So you have to go through Andersen if you want original spline. Now, obviously, this is super robust. Metal screen, really nice. Don't get me wrong. But if you don't have pets or the house that you bought has shitty-ass 30-year-old metal screens, they're impossible to fix and patch. So I went ahead, and I peeled out the spline and I just bent it because it's useless. Now, the genius behind Andersen is that once you take the spline out of an Andersen window, it becomes almost permanently damaged or bent out of shape. So, I'm going to go over with you guys in my next video. I'm out of supplies, hence why I didn't do it now. You need one of these. I'm going to post a link. It's a spliner. You're going to need some spline. I personally like a little bit of clear silicone for the corners and for wherever your spline ends meet, spline ends meet. But again, I'm basically, on this run right now, I don't care. That's garbage. We're going to take this out, okay? And it's garbage, right? I can't patch that. I don't want to redo the whole window. So basically, we're going to just throw this out. I'm going to run to Home Depot, and we're going to do a video of how to spline a window screen. An Andersen window screen in particular, but the process is the same no matter which way you really spline it, slice it. I don't know. I was going for something clever there, and I failed. Anyway, let's do this later. Okay, so couple things. This is a screen with nothing on it. We removed everything. One of the things I had to do was 2 of the 4 were a little bit mucked up. So basically, I have them here. One of the things I like to do is you really should use a full-size table. Let me kind of huddle down. And I'm going to show in detail what I'm talking about. But basically, because it was bent out of shape, this is my second run at this one in particular. The ridge or the channel kind of flared open a little, so it wasn't grabbing the spline. So I'm going to just show you real quick. If you look here, right, it's not a perfectly straight, like there were pockets where it was kind of bent open. So what I did was, oh shit, oh fucky. Okay, still getting used to this gimbal thingy. So what I basically did was, I'm going to try to one-hand this. I would basically grab a set of pliers and just kind of lightly pinch my way down. So that's one. And it really only affected that one side. I'm okay with it being too close together because I'm going to punch the spline through. And it being close together is almost better than it being too far apart. So let me just rotate this here. So I'm going to pop the camera back so you can kind of see me here. Awesome. So I'm just kind of running down the line, right? I'm pinching the channel just to give my spline a little bit of extra holding power. So I'm just pinching it down the line, straight down. Nothing too crazy. And again, like I said, I'm not putting the aluminum channel back in because I can't. But so long as I tighten this up, I'll be in a good place when I basically put my 1/4 inch spline back in. Now it's not exactly a 1/4 inch. It's basically 0.22 inches. And then the last step I'll suggest, before you go ahead and fix this, right, or spline it, put the screen on, go do a quick test fit, which is what I'm going to run and do now. Because, you know, in my case, I don't know who did it, but, excuse my French. I think when they had taken the screens off the windows, someone pressed it together, because that's normal, right? It could be a child or a maladapted adult, but generally test fit before you put the work in to actually spline it, and I'll be right back. So for starters, I don't have enough spline. I have plenty of screen to do all 4 windows, but if that's okay, we're going to do this one, and then that basically sums it all up. It's really my problem that I don't have enough for the rest of my job. I didn't mismeasure. I basically, Home Depot did not have the spline in stock, so I had to buy less. I had to buy whatever they had. So a couple things here, right? This is the screen, or the mesh, whatever you want to call it, right? It comes in various sized rolls. I could have bought a 24-inch roll that would have been the perfect width for my screens, but I kind of figured, you know, I'm not going to use it all, right? So I bought a 48 because now I could do a door in the future, and then if I just carefully cut it in half, then I should be all right to do my screens 24 by whatever, 4.5. I think these are 5-foot windows. I'm not 5 feet tall, maybe 5.5. I don't know. It's definitely not a 6-foot window, because I'm not a man of giant stature. So lay your screen out. There's different types. There's pet proof, bug proof, super fine mesh. I got the one that basically said the best view. I don't know what that means. My guess is there's not as much protection, basically less mesh to expand the amount of light or view that comes in. I don't know. Either way, so basically I know, because this is my second time doing this window, this is the right amount of spline for me. Naturally, it's pretty obvious. Just measure length times width times 2, or width times height times 2, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to start at one end here. And really, it's important to just tuck it in there. And I'm going to show you what I basically do. I'm going to take my splining tool, or my spliner, and I'm just going to punch it in there, right? Give it a nice, like, push. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to peel it out now. And I'm going to take my little bit of silicone, okay? And I'm just going to pop it. Now, every window is going to be a little different. But for me, the spline side doesn't show, right? It's the side going up against the window. And I think that's how you want it, because then the window frame is also protecting the spline. So I just put in a little silicone just to be extra safe. And now I'm just going to re-punch it. And the reason why I punch it first is because it depresses the screen into the window, right? So a couple of things I want to make sure. Because I don't have a large cut here, what I'm going to do, 1 second. I'm going to pinch this on this end here, just so that I know I have enough. Okay. So now as I run down the line, okay. So you could do righty, lefty, whatever floats your boat. You know, I feel pretty good with both. So I'm gonna pull with my right, line it up, and then just punch it through. And just nice, just short strokes back and forth. So over here is where I over squeezed it a little. So I'm just gonna really punch it slowly. I don't wanna, ow. Well, I was gonna say I don't wanna rip through the screen. I didn't realize I could accidentally spline my finger until just now. It's okay. We're all right. I over pinched a lot of this, but it's all right. It's all right. We're just blasting through, baby. Blasting through. So one side's done. Okay. I'm doing one run. Theoretically, you can spline each side and whatever, but you want this in one run. It's kind of like when you're running electrical, the less splices, the better. So measure twice, cut once, and run your spline. Okay. So there we go. That's in, nice and tight, like a tiger. Okay, so now I'm just gonna give it a little tension, not much. It really, you don't want much tension, right? And I'm doing two things. I'm trying to do two things at once here. So I went on a little crooked. You don't really need the tension, but what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of pulling the screen a little. And the reason why, okay, so I didn't, that's an interesting piece right there. Okay, the reason why I'm doing it is just to effectively give myself a little bit of, reduce the sag, if you will. I don't know what the proper term is. I'm not a professional window guy. I'm not a professional anything right now. Either way, so we just pop that in there, keep it moving. Oh, nice. This is a beautiful run. Let me not jinx it, even though this is not real wood table. All right, so I feel good about that. I'm gonna punch in the last one, okay? And again, you want the spline to be tight. I don't know if you can see me from over there, but you know, I've punched in this area. Okay. Wow. That's so weird. I have extra spline. So I definitely tugged it. Interesting. I got like 1.5 inches of extra spline. I ripped out the spline. So my thinking, my blade, be right back. The spline is a little bit like a rubber band, so because I was pulling at it, I effectively very slightly made it thinner in some areas, most likely. But I feel like it's gonna be all right. So again, ends meet, I'm just putting a little dab of silicone. Just a very little bit. And then I'm gonna pop that in there with the spline. Just a dab. All right, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through it one more time. Nothing crazy, I could do longer strokes now, it's in. So I'm just gonna give it one nice, steady, slow run around. Give it the run around. All right. Last step. All right. So done splining. Spline tool goes away. This thing I might need later. Your box cutter, utility knife, a good blade, which this should be fine. I used it on the other two 5 minutes ago. So you're gonna taper the knife to be kind of away. There's gonna be a little ridge here, like just a hair. So you just wanna press the knife up against that ridge and very lightly cut. It should be almost a zero effort, zero pressure, right? Let the knife do the work. So you don't want to create too much pressure. Just drag it. I'm hearing little bit like vibrations almost, which means I'm cutting something. Okay. So we're coming down the line. So it's funny, I've been meaning to do this for a long time. So I'm doing rough. I'll trim the rest of it later. I just want it out of my way for the sake of the video. I've been meaning to do this for weeks. The screens and the spline and everything has been sitting here. And naturally, you know, there are always the projects that you're like, I'll do another day. And what happened was our AC broke. And it didn't necessarily break. Like, it just needs, we thought it was freezing over. It could have been a leak. I had my HVAC guy come, or as he likes to be called, my home performance specialist. And he basically said I just need to recharge it with Freon or refrigerant or whatever modern version they use today. So he's gonna come, he's gonna do that hopefully soon. But basically no refrigerant means no AC. No AC in the summer means no happy people in the house. So my wife goes to open the windows and there's no screen. And she, you know, hey babe, when are you gonna get the screens done? That's not how my wife sounds. Hopefully she doesn't watch this video. And lo and behold, screens by necessity, all done. So, you know, all right. I didn't put enough tension right here. So it's bowing out just a little. And this spot, it gave me a problem because it was one of those areas where it was too tight and then I had to pull too hard. And, you know, I'm dealing, these are probably, these are over 20 years old. Because I know the prior homeowners didn't do it, and they lived here for 20 years before the owners before them. So, plus these are Andersen. The prior homeowners would never put something that nice in the house. So, yeah, these are easily 20 years old. So I'm doing the best I can with the tools I have. Someday, if I need to, I'll respline. But I'm really, it's fine for the purpose, right? I'm not being paid on this. And at the end of the day, I'm solving the problem. No ventilation. I hope this helps. Any questions, just leave it in the comments section and I will do my best to answer them.